Hey guys, happy Monday. So apparently the guy who built Claude a few days back said that he has stopped using prompts in order to get things done. Instead, he does what he calls loops or builds what he calls loops in order to do recurring day-to-day tasks. Now, what is loop engineering? So loop engineering is the practice of designing the system that prompts your AI agent rather than you prompting itself. So essentially, something like what should I do to get the best output? This is what we do in prompt engineering. In loop engineering, what system should I build so the agent finds the work, does it, verifies it, and remembers what it did without me in the loop at all? So, for example, on a regular basis, when you, let's say, write code with AI, the model is still dependent on you, which is a good thing, to review the content, to install dependencies, to push code to production, and so on. With loop engineering, or goals, you can automate that entire process. It was popularized by Adi Osmani, who is an engineering lead at Google. And the loop itself has 5 components. So why this video, I'm not only walking you through what is loop engineering, but I'm also walking you through what are the 5 core components of a loop. So first is the trigger. And if you work with N8N or any workflow systems, loop engineering is kind of similar to that. N8N, make.com, LangFlow, all of these have a trigger. So a schedule, a event, a webhook that will essentially trigger the loop. So it essentially is a point that starts your entire loop. Second is the goal. So what is the end state that you're trying to achieve with this loop? So for example, by the end of this, my new blogs should be on production. By the end of this, I should be able to publish my game. By the end of this, I should have a usable mobile app and so on and so forth. So that would be your goal. The third is actions. These are the tools you can use inside the loops. So for example, in order to build a game, you need to install certain packages. In order to publish your blogs, you need access to, let's say, places where you can publish your blogs and so on and so forth. Fourth is verification. This is where the model needs to understand when does the loop stop. So this is the logical stop point of the loop. Essentially, after I've done ABC, this is where the loop should stop. And is like it compares itself with the goal that it had in mind, that essentially brings the loop to a logical endpoint. So here are some of the use cases: running tests and checking out exit codes, a supervisor agent reading the final state, a diff review by a second model, a CI pipeline. And again, all of these are techie, but in case of marketing, let's say if a blog is live and you have a URL, that's the end of the loop. Finally, the memory itself, and this kind of is essentially your running memory of the loop and is stored inside of the memory every time a loop is executed. So some of the places where you can do it is session persistence, or the easier one for non-techie folks, Claude.md file, external memory in case you have databases and so on involved here. Now I already mentioned what a loop looks like in practice here. So you have trigger, goal, actions, verify, memory, as you see all of these right here. And all of this essentially go ahead and form the loop. And now loop should also be able to run on schedule. So for example, every day 5 a.m. in the morning, run this loop, 10 p.m. in the evening, run this loop, and so on. So it is something that you essentially set it up once and then it runs itself in the future. Now there are certain infrastructure pieces behind the loops, and if you're interested, I'll share the link to this blog here. But in super simple sense, if you've worked with N8N or any similar tool, loops allow you to do something on the similar lines. Now on Explainx.ai, we've added a bunch of different loops in case you're interested to learn about them. So some of the programming specific loops have been added on the slash loops page, and these are all open source. You can freely access them. Go ahead and read how they look like. We also have a flow diagram here, which is very relevant for people who worked with N8N and so on and so forth. So again, this is what loops are in super simple sense. And how do you use it inside Claude Code or Code? Now, I don't know about Codex, but Claude Code allows you to directly initialize loops. So if you just go to your programming tool, or let me show you the slash commands because you're probably not seeing my screen here. There is a slash command in Claude. So if you just go to explainx.ai // commands, and in this you look for Claude Code. By the way, you can find all the slash commands right here, and the loop is right here. And this is for Claude Code. This essentially, when you run this command, kind of builds something like this. So slash loop 5-minute, check if the deploy finished. So every 5-minute interval, it will keep on checking if your deployment is completed. So the syntax is like this: slash loop, interval, prompt, and then this will allow you to automatically check on us. So it's like a running cron job in your system. that will automatically check every few seconds if something that was supposed to be done is completed. So that is loop engineering for you guys. I hope this was helpful. Again, if you worked with N10, LangFlow, or Make, I think this is not very different from that. It's just that it's now in our coding ecosystem as opposed to initially it being on the UI. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.